Hey everyone, Dan Scott here, where in this video I want to talk about Matthew 5:17, where recently I've been going back and forth with those who I call Torahists, who are teaching that we as Christians are to keep the law of Moses. And they often like to quote this verse here, which in the Devar translation reads, "You should not conclude that I came to down loosen from kataluo, the law or the prophets. The law or the prophets. I did not come to down loosen, but to fulfill completely." And then here, the context of the passing of the heavens and earth is the conclusion of the judgment of the last days, where all who will come into the right hand, the sheep at his right, will have to learn what Jesus is saying here. Because when we continue reading, where they don't, I don't know if the Torahists understand that what Jesus is saying here, whoever loosens away one of these least inner aims, where back here, the word law is different, okay? Law here is anoma, where here the word inner aim is entole, which is according to now the new covenant, not the old covenant. And the inner aims that he's talking about back up to these verses concerning that we are the salt of the earthland, all right? We are the light of the cosmos, which all of this talk of Jesus here is not referring to keeping the law of Moses, okay? And those who want to continue in the law of Moses, they are not keeping the inner aim here. So he says, whoever loosens the least of the inner aims here, the least, key word, and thus teaches human, he will be called least in the regency of the heavens, which points us to Matthew 25:40. Here, where we see the segregating of the right hand from the left named, verse 41, these are my least brothers, the context of what we just read. Again, Matthew 5:19, he will be called least. All right, so the context of the least brothers in Matthew 25 are the third watchtimers, according to the sign given Peter, cock's voice. And then he says, "For I say to you, unless your righteousness abounds more than the scribes and the Pharisees, not will you come into the regency of the heavens." So what is the context of the righteousness here that has to abound more than the law keepers? Well, it's the righteousness out of God on account of faithing. Where here Paul, laying out his resume as a Pharisee of Pharisees, a Hebrew of Hebrews, etc., says that his pursuit is not to be found in Christ, not having my righteousness out of law, but that through the faithing of Christ, the righteousness out of God on account of faithing. Where what kind of law is the law of faithing, which was not out of Moses. So back to Matthew 5:20, which Torahists don't quote, the righteousness here that has to abound more than the scribes and the Pharisees is not the law of the fleshy commandments, right here. That's written, the iota, right here. The iota and the hornlet from the law. Okay? And those who will carry out the hard-necked method of attaining righteousness through themselves, which Paul again called my righteousness, will wholly loosen away when the heavens and the earth pass away, and then we come into the new heavens and earth, who will not be my least brothers, but they will be the left named cursed. And why are they cursed? Why are the left named cursed? As for as many are as out of the works of the law are under a curse. Cursed is everyone who does not abide in all of the things having been written in the book scroll of the law to do them, but that not one is justified by the law is obvious, since the righteous one will live out of faithing, the law of faithing. But the law is not out of faithing, see? But the one having done them, okay, those having been written, will live by them. When? Well, when the heavens and the earth pass by and we enter into a new heavens and earth, and those here who are the left named seed of under remnant Israel, cursed, will be keeping law. All flesh will come whenever there is a feast of Newell in its Newell, and whenever a Sabbath celebration. This is the context of what we just read, Paul said, which aligns with the words of Jesus. So if you want to continue in the law of the fleshy inner aim, Hebrews 7:16, and you want to carry it past being a least brother, this is where you're going to end up, right here. You will be among all flesh, which flesh and blood does not law accordingly allot the regency of God. Again, when we back up to Isaiah 65, for here am I, the creator of a new heavens and earth, where the present will pass by, where in verse 20, the one who is cursed is a son of 100 years. And they will die because the law is a curse. And the curse is the death, which the good news, the well announcement is that the law of the Spirit of the life in Christ freed you from the law of the valence and of the death, which is the law of Moses. Think about it.